guys, it's Lynn with Little Fit Nursery. I wanted to hop on and share with you guys a couple of super cute outfits I got from DisneyStore.com. It's not really enough for its own haul video, so I figured I would show you guys the two outfits and then change one of my babies into the outfit. And I don't know, I might go ahead and change another doll into the other outfit as well. So the first outfit is this is the one I wanted to change Maggie into. It's a two-piece outfit. It's this gray Minnie Mouse t-shirt. It says Rainbow Dreams, and then it has these pink pants as well with like a cloud and a star. I just thought this would look so cute on Maggie. And I love this Easter dress on her. I think it's darling, but you know, it's not very cuddly. I think I've talked about this before, that when my babies are in dresses, I just don't tend to cuddle them as much. So I really like them in kind of more softer things that look like they're super comfy and that they would play in. Okay, so the other outfit that I got is this really cute onesie. It says Little Crowns, Big Dreams. You guys, is that not the cutest thing ever? It's got this really cute tutu, like pink tutu. It's gray with like kind of this tulle trim on the sleeves, and has like snaps here at the bottom. So I think this is really cute. I might have to put a baby in this one. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and change Maggie. And I actually had a topic for you guys today too. I always like talking about different things on my videos. But one of the, oh, I take the dress off first actually. So what I was thinking about this because, as you guys know, I am a Reborn artist and just more part-time as a hobby, and my selling the dolls that I paint really helps to support my hobby. So that's the main reason I do it. Plus, I just don't have the room to keep all the babies that I paint. And that way it allows me to keep painting and keep buying kits and to keep collecting as well. So, but I was thinking about this because I feel like every time when I, kind of post, a video about some of the babies that I've painted recently, I do get some new inquiries and some new traffic to my Facebook page, which is always really cool. And I feel like I always have a constant stream of custom orders in the works, which is really nice. So right now I am painting the Megan kit, and then I next have a Lillian kit on the horizon, and then also on the horizon will be Greta and Liam. So I've got some really fun kits coming up, which is great. So yeah, I hope this is not too, this waistband looks really large, and I guess if it's too big for Maggie, I can always try it on Maisie, so we can try that. But I'm hoping it'll fit okay, because I think it is still a 0 to 3 month size. Not sure, but yeah. So I wanted to talk about I guess the process of working with customers, and maybe I think etiquette from both the buyer and seller side. I think I've done a video, I've kind of talked about this before, but one of the things for those of you guys who are maybe new to painting and thinking about selling your dolls or thinking about doing custom orders, I think one of the things that's really nice about just selling a completed doll is you kind of skip over all the back and forth, with the potential buyer in terms of the custom order process. So for example, there's usually a lot of emails going back and forth with regards to figuring out, what kind of kit they want, first of all. So sometimes I'll get an email and someone's inquiring about wanting to do a custom, but they're not sure. There are a lot of emails where they're asking you for your pricing, and then after you tell them your pricing, and they'll kind of ask if you can do payment plans and stuff like that. And I do accept payment plans, and I am totally flexible on the schedule of when somebody wants to pay off the doll. What I do is I wait until the doll is fully paid for before I start painting, And then once I start painting, it usually takes me about a month to complete the baby. Sometimes less, but usually takes me about a month. And depends on how many babies I'm working on at a given time. So, oh, this is really darling on her. This is kind of big. I'm now wondering, did I pick the wrong size? Like, is this a bigger size? Maybe I got this for Maisie. Sorry guys, I don't mean to digress from the topic, but let me check. Oh no, it's 0 to 3 months. It just looks so large. Huh, okay, interesting. Well, it does fit her. It's just the waistband looked big, and I was right, it is actually a little bit large, but Maggie, such a chubba wub. So cute. Got this little bit of dust on her. So anyway, here she is. She's so cute. And sorry guys, I always have to pick them up after I change them. Oh, she feels so great to hold. Yeah, I really like cuddling her in this outfit much more than her Easter dress. So I just love this little one. How cute. So yeah, maybe I'll save the other one outfit for another video. So yeah, I feel like the buying process, the kind of going back and forth with a buyer can be very time consuming. I'm like learning this because I'll get like different inquiries from different people, and they're asking questions, going back and forth on what kit they want. I have to quote different prices depending on the kit because open-eyed babies are more work and the materials cost is a little higher because you have to buy the eyes, and I like to give different options for the eyes. And some options are more expensive than others, you know, for example. And then the size of baby also matters. Like smaller babies are faster to paint and require less materials as well, especially when it comes to assembling the doll. So I have to factor in so many different things. And I also have to factor in how big the doll is because I have to think about which size shipping box it can fit in. Because if it can fit in a smaller box, then that the shipping cost is going to be less. And I like to quote a price that's inclusive of shipping, just to make it easier for everyone, and so you don't have to go back and forth with trying to refund the difference in quoted shipping costs and that sort of stuff. So I just like to kind of have an all-inclusive price when it comes to shipping. And so yeah, there's usually a lot of questions, and you know, I think some people don't have the patience to field the questions, and sometimes and I think this also brings up a good topic of time wasters, because there are definitely people who will message you, ask you a ton of questions, you know, even express interest that they want to purchase a doll, and their intentions to pay and things like that, and then you may never hear from them again. Or it might just be a very delayed process. And I don't mind the delay. I think but you know, for me, until I actually get a deposit, I don't know if that custom order is actually going to happen or not. So, so I just kind of, so it makes it tricky when you're trying to quote time frames. And you know, so sometimes I'll talk to somebody and kind of say, yeah, given my current schedule, I think I could paint you. And I kind of basically base it off of, I can maybe paint 2 babies a month at most, and you know, so I'll kind of give a quote on what I think my time frame will be. But it's hard because if I have multiple people inquiring at the same time, I don't want to quote a time frame, but really the order of priority goes to whoever pays first, and so because that's the only way to be fair. So sometimes that time frame can shift, I guess, and I guess that's just something to keep in mind as a buyer. You know, if you want a doll, like let's say it's April right now, and you want a doll in June, but you don't pay your artist, and you don't pay your artist until like end of May, you know, you're going to have to really, you know, kind of plan on the fact that the artist's schedule might have changed. The artist may have other custom orders in the works, you know, that sort of thing. And so it is a little bit tricky. I realize there's this whole, you know, customer service element to being a Reborn artist and working with buyers, especially on custom orders. I do like to kind of check in with my buyers every so often, and I'll try to send work in process photos Not on every step, but usually, maybe about a third of the way in, maybe 2/3 of the way in, and then once the baby's done. So, so that's what I will often do with regards to my custom orders. But but sometimes it can take, and it's interesting because I'm almost done completing the Megan kit that I'm painting, and I know that the mommy who's adopting her really, really wants to have her before they leave for a vacation in mid-April. And so so I definitely have, I haven't been working on any other dolls concurrent to that one, just so I could try to get that one done by the deadline. But I was just realizing, like, oh, it is a little bit like of a fire under your butt and a little bit stressful to try to, meet these deadlines. And so I think that, for that reason, I know that's probably one reason a lot of artists aren't doing custom orders anymore, because of the stress involved, and trying to, paint a baby to a certain timeline, and not wanting to rush the art and things like that. But for me, I love doing customs because I feel like, I don't like the process of trying to field inquiries from like multiple buyers who are interested in one doll. I just like kind of being able to paint a baby and knowing that after the baby's done, I could just ship it to the new mommy and be done. So, so I guess either way, you probably have to field, kind of from a customer service perspective, a lot of emails and messages, whether it's during the custom order process or it's, towards the end. And every customer is different. That's what I'm realizing as well. Some have been so sweet to like send me photos and box openings, but everyone I've worked with so far has been really great. So I feel super lucky. This is a hobby that, a lot of it's a expensive hobby, for those of us who paint as well as collect. And so I finally finished my taxes. Yay! I didn't make videos for a few days, and so I've been spacing these videos out every other day again. And I'll try to kind of do some, where I'll have videos 2 days in a row, but other times I'll have to space it out, just depending on, the flow of what's going on with me personally and how much time I have to make videos. Because I'd rather have videos coming out at regular intervals rather than give you guys like 5 videos and have no videos for a week or something like that. So I like to kind of schedule them and space them out. But I got my taxes done. It was pretty eye-opening to see how much I've spent on this hobby this past year. I was pretty shocked actually by the numbers, and I guess it just really all adds up, between the dolls, the clothes, and then as an artist, the kits and supplies, and even buying things like cardboard boxes and buying magnets and all this stuff. And so I have been I have kept track of it all so I could file my taxes. And wow, it was pretty eye-opening. So and pretty daunting, honestly. I did not expect I had spent that much on this hobby. So it's definitely something I want to be a little bit more mindful of for this year. I definitely don't want to be spending as much as I did last year. That's for sure. And I feel like I acquired a lot of things that I didn't even have a chance to use yet. So I really want to be able to pause and enjoy. And you guys are probably like, yeah, right. Because I know I said this in January, and then I think March was like, I felt like every other one of my videos was like a box opening. So I know so many new babies came into the nursery. And this hobby is just so addicting. It's so hard to stop buying babies and buying things for the babies. It's just so much, such a fun hobby, and it's wonderful. And it brings so much joy. So, and it's just nice to know I'm not alone in this, because I feel like a few of my other dolly friends are kind of going through the same thing. Like there was some definite baby fever going around the community during the month of March. I felt like I saw so many box openings, not just on my own channel, but it keeps it really fun. And so but the reality is, yes, these dolls are super expensive, and so we do need to live in reality and not spend beyond our means. I know that's important. So and I did have to borrow from savings a few times this past year, so I don't want to have to do that again this year. I think it's just really important to try to have a little bit of self-control when it comes to this hobby. But anyway, I thought it might be just interesting to share with you guys my perspective as, from a seller's perspective, as an artist, And then as a buyer, I think I have worked with, Melissa George on custom orders. She's been awesome. She doesn't really do work in process pictures. She'll just usually send photos once the baby's all done. But we're and I think the timeline is sometimes a few months, depending on what she has on her plate. But I'm not. I'm usually not in a rush. And I know it can take some time. And so I think if you can allow your artist the time to complete the custom and try not to check in too often, I think mainly just because I think when we get that check-in email, even if the buyer is being super nice and sweet and polite, I think for us, we do feel a little bit of that extra pressure, like, oh, I better get back to painting this doll. So, I think that is normal feeling for, artists to go through, to feel like, okay, I need to get on it because they're kind of checking in and, it's kind of on their radar that, the doll's not done and, things like that. So you don't want your artist to feel stressed. But I think it is okay to check in every so often. It's not a problem. But I think if it were a situation where I'm getting checked in on every few days or even once a week would feel like it might be kind of a lot. That I think that could become a bit much. So anyway, I just thought I would chat about this topic. I think it's not one that we talk about too often, but it is part of being in business. I think of any sort is providing good customer service, being prompt and responding to messages, fielding inquiries, fielding questions. And I get a lot of random messages like people asking me if I make, silicone dolls. And then a lot of times I'll quote my price range and, the person will say, oh yeah, no thanks, but no thanks, or just say, thanks for letting me know. I don't think my price range is, outlandish. I think I'm sort of in that, sort of beginner to intermediate category and price point, sort of like intermediate pricing, if you will. So I feel like, yeah, I'm generally right now in the 300 to 400 range, including shipping, with my dolls, which I think is pretty reasonable. And then, I think once you get to like the 500 plus range, those dolls are kind of, definitely kind of a different level of, professionalism. And then it just sort of jumps from there. There's like the 500 range, 500, 600 range. Then there are the dolls that cost like 800 plus. And gosh, I don't know if you guys have been following some of the eBay Reborn auctions, and some of the new Bountiful Baby prototypes like Jade. And Jackie and Sylvia routinely sell their dolls in sort of the 1,500 to 2,000 range. But I saw a prototype doll in the 3,500 bidding range. I was just floored. And I know that there are some Reborns that get up that high. But man, oh man, if it's going to cost that much, I really I would go for a full body silicone. That's just me. But I could not believe how crazy the prices had gone with those Reborns. I was just amazed. So, and it's just an interesting reminder. This is art at the end of the day. And I think there is something about these super realistic dolls that just tugs at your heartstrings, and when you fall in love, you just fall in love. And I don't think it's about the price point, but sometimes, sometimes it's about like, but I think this is something that, it's not like buying a loaf of bread where I think we have a pretty strict limit on how much we're willing to spend. I feel like these dolls, because they really are like real babies to us, it really makes it so, we're willing to spend more on them. Sorry guys, I had to hold Maggie. I just think she's so precious, and she's cuddly in this outfit, so I'm really glad I changed her in it. I like her in it a lot. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for joining me for this chat today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and don't forget to give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye!